Hey, welcome to the Wealth Agenda. I am your host and financial coach, Tania Brielle Mabrey, and today we are having an amazing conversation about real estate, which is one of the most powerful tools when it comes to wealth building. And for this discussion today, we have Miss Jackie Hanson Jackson joining us from Pearson Smith Realty, and we've been having a great dialogue. And so this is now the extended interview where we are going to dive even deeper into how to put money in your pockets using real estate. So let's keep it going. You ready?
Let's get into it.
Let's do it. All right. So I'm going to jump right into a pretty controversial topic that I've heard a lot of people talking about today, and that's the rent versus buy discussion. So based on your experience working with buyers, when have you seen that inflection point has taken place where it's time for someone to transition from renting to buying?
Tania, that's a great question, and it is a debate. I've had this conversation with many of my clients. I've put them in rentals, and I've transitioned them to buying. And I always tell them, when it makes financial sense to you, if you're spending more money or you're spending the exact amount that you would in owning a home, it is definitely time to transition into buying your own home. Also, when your credit is good, when you feel that you want to stay in a particular area for at least 3 to 5 years, those are good indicators that you need to transition. And the last one I would definitely say is it's a mindset, Tania. When you're ready to stop making someone else or, increasing equity in their home, and you want to do it for yours and decide that you want to go on the journey of building generational wealth, then it's time for you.
That mindset is so key, because the difference between paying somebody else's mortgage and building wealth versus paying your own mortgage and building wealth is transformational. So that mindset point, that is a game changer. So countless studies have shown that real estate is a top wealth building tool across several communities. So what are some of the key strategies for people looking to build long-term stability? Right through, we just talked about that a little bit, but what are some of the key strategies?
It's all about building equity in your assets. So what you want to do if you have a home that you want to purchase, you can decide to rent it out short term, or you can do a long-term rental, meaning a lease. And those individuals that are in your house will help you build equity in your house. And then what you can do is you can pull out the equity and you can go purchase another house and do the same thing all over again. Because also, by the way, your house statistically will increase in value over in a year's time between 2 and 5%. So your house is already building equity. It's already becoming more valuable. And if you have others that can help you build equity in the house, that's a win for you.
That's so smart. So ensuring that once you purchase the house, that if you want to build a real estate portfolio, that you're leveraging something like a HELOC, a home equity line of credit, to pull out that equity and then use that in order to buy additional properties.
Absolutely.
That is a phenomenal strategy. And I know that's what I've heard a lot of real estate investors have done. Yes. That's something my husband and I have done in building our own portfolio.
Yes.
So that's a great tip. So I understand that it's not always the purchasing that is so important when it comes to wealth building, right? Because this is a wealth agenda show. So we're talking about the wealth building strategies.
Right.
But and especially sometimes in communities of color, there's challenges when it comes to gaining the value that you need when you sell your home. So what are the strategies that you have found to be very helpful to maximizing the value that you get when you sell your home?
When I sit down and speak to my sellers, I always have an acronym for them. And the acronym for them is SIP, stand in place. When you sip something, you're just tasting it, having a little taste. You're not fully drinking it. So when I say stand in place, I mean stand in place of a buyer. Whatever it is that you think that you would want, then give that experience to the buyer. If you're an individual that when you go and look for houses, you like everything shiny and new, you like everything in order, decluttered, curb appeal, the latest gadgets in your house, making sure that all the systems are well maintained, present that to a buyer. Stand in place of a buyer and then, present your house.
SIP.
SIP.
SIP, stand in place, just take a moment, reflect, look around. Do I like this?
Exactly.
Would I like this? Don't be selling no raggedy houses. If you don't like it,
Exactly.
they're not going to like it. That's so
Yes.
practical.
Yes.
So what are some of the other mistakes that you sometimes see sellers make?
I see sometimes sellers overprice their house. And we're all attached to our homes. We've been there, we love it. But this is not an emotional decision, and that's why you need a realtor. Because you know what? The value of a house is determined by what someone is willing to pay for it. We don't create value. We don't assess value. It's what the market is saying to us. And so we have to take a look at that. And if we overprice the house, it's going to be sitting on the market for a long time. And then you're going to get offers lower than list price because people are going to think, hey, the house is not that great. Nobody wants the house. Another thing is negotiation. When someone brings an offer that is underneath the list price, sellers get offended. They're like, this is my house. Why are they doing that? Do not ever underestimate the power of the counteroffer. If you like all the other terms, counteroffer. It's great. And I'd say a last thing would be not keeping up with maintenance, repairs, and renovations. Every couple of years, go into a new construction and look at what they're doing there. Save money and do it in your house. Don't wait for a situation right before you buy where you've ignored repairs, that need to be taken and you're spending tons of money. So I would say those are the things.
When you said selling a house is not an emotional decision, I feel like I felt that in my Shonda. I was like, wait a minute. I think I will be emotional, but being able to separate the emotion from the practicality is so important. And even more so, it made me think about the acronym of stand in place, not just in the way that you are looking at your surroundings, but in the way that you are pricing your home. Stand in place of the buyer and understand how they are looking at the market.
Absolutely.
That is so powerful.
Absolutely.
What is one piece of advice that you wish that people knew about real estate?
I would say, Tania, real estate is not just a transaction. Real estate is a vehicle and a tool to build generational wealth, and you have to treat it as such. And the way to do that, the way to begin is to hire a qualified realtor. Do not believe when people say you don't need a realtor. Realtors add so much value to the process. So I would say if this is a tool for you to build generational wealth, do everything right. And because you don't know the ins and outs, hire somebody that can. I would definitely say that that's critical.
I agree. I feel like, again, the realtors have made such a big difference. I just want to go back to that emotional piece just one more time. Can you just give me an example of one story where you had to talk someone off the ledge when they were feeling particularly emotional and you steered them into a different direction?
Yes, there are many. But one particular story I could tell you is that we were going to sell a house. And a client was so attached to the house that she wanted to price the house probably $100,000 over what the other houses had recently sold for. And she was very adamant, Tania, very adamant. And it got to the point where she said, Jackie, if we can't price a house like this, I'll just keep the house. And I reminded her, you're moving out of the area. You don't want 2 mortgages. Let me show you statistically why if you price your house, you're going to be more emotionally dissatisfied. If you do that, you will get hurt and offended thinking no one wants your house. It's not the house, it's how you've priced it. So when I showed her the statistics and I really basically held her hand and spoke to her about, told her, let me do it. Put it on me. You don't worry about it. Trust me. Trust the process. and she was able to see, and we were able to get to the finish line.
You are a true pro. You are managing the emotions. You are helping clients make data-driven decisions. That is phenomenal. Well, thank you so much for sharing your expertise. I'm definitely gonna have to reach out. Well, I don't know. My current realtor might be mad, but now I'm like, he's probably watching it. But yes, this has been so amazing. To our audience today, thank you so much for tuning in. If you want to continue to gain more wealth building insights, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you are ready to make a real estate purchase, please reach out to Jackie. She will get you all the way together with both data and managing your emotions. Again, I am Tania Brielle Mabrey, your host and financial coach, and this has been The Wealth Agenda.